ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
Meet the visionary behind Glotech International, Mr.Saeed Rahman, the managing director who driving the innovations in telecom and technology from Dubai to the world. Stay tuned.
I would wish to thank the leadership of the United Arab Emirates. I have seen tremendous things happening here, and these are wonderful times to be in, and the society and the country they have managed to create.
Welcome our dear audience in your favorite program, Palace of Union, which has highlighted the most successful and powerful people in the United Arab Emirates. Today, it's our honor to host Mr. Saeed Rahman, the Managing Director of Glotech. How are you, Mr. Saeed?
Thank you very much for having me on the show. It's my pleasure to be talking to you.
It's our team pleasure to meet you today, sir. And in the beginning of our episode, we would like to ask you to introduce yourself to our audience and give them a brief about your knowledge as well as your experience.
My name is Saeed Rahman. I am originally from Pakistan,
yes,
but I have lived most of my life in Sweden. I am currently managing director of Glotech International, which is the company we founded about 80 years ago here in the UAE. And we are providing telecom services to the various telecom operators and other telecom companies in UAE and in other countries, as we will explain later on. So in the beginning, I will describe a bit about my own journey and experiences in the Middle East, how my career developed and where I am now, and also our ambition for the future. And then later on we can talk about some of the other questions you may have regarding challenges and then the messages to young people and so on.
Exactly, we will do the same, Mr. Saeed. But first we would like to know how you managed to carve out a prestigious name to your company in spite of the highly competitions in this market of the UAE.
So in order to tell you a bit about that, where we are today, I have to give you a bit of background of my own personal experiences and how I got evolved into this position.
Yes.
So I came to the Middle East long time ago in 1980.
Wow, yes.
So many years ago. And after I finished my studies in the US, I joined a company called Ericsson Telecom. It's a Swedish company, multinational, very famous in telecoms. So they got a project awarded in Saudi Arabia at the time. You know that the networks of today, they are much different than what it was 40-45 years ago.
Of course.
There was no mobile telecoms.
Yes.
It was all fixed line services. So in Saudi Arabia, Ericsson got a project awarded for modernization of the landline network in Saudi Arabia in the history of telecoms.
Yes.
So I was fortunate enough as a young graduate to come and join Ericsson at the time. It was very harsh environment in the beginning.
Exactly, yes.
For me, because there was a language barrier, there was a bit of cultural barrier,
Yes.
and the climate and so on. But we managed, and the excitement of the project kept us going. So what we were doing at the time, we installed a modern network of landline business. And that required a lot of hard work. Those kind of technology at that time required large-sized installations.
That's right.
So some of these telecom switches that we were installing were in big halls actually. And to give you an example, the software that was running that switch was typically around 20 megabytes.
Oh, a
So,
great number.
and 20 megabytes at the time required 8 feet high racks, many of them, to install
Yes.
just 20 megabytes. Today, in these phones that we have, each
We
one
have
of them is like 500 GB.
Yes, exactly.
So you can imagine the
This is-
complexity has changed how much from that time.
Of course, yes.
We also introduced mobile telecom at the time in 1981, but it was called car phone. It was not handheld,
Yes.
it was a car telephone. So Saudi Arabia was the first one to receive car phones, and those were big boxes
Yes.
that were installed between the two front seats.
I remember that time in movie they coming like this,
Exactly,
yes, and for
the
the
big
famous people, so only the one who had like
Yeah.
this
And it
techniques
was
this
only
time.
given to VVIPs
Yes,
in
this
the
is what I say.
royal
Yes.
family and the high society.
Exactly. Yes.
So I was fortunate enough to install the software there, and we completed those projects for for car telephone at the
Yes.
time. I was a software programmer at the time, between 1980 and in the 80s and the 90s.
yes.
People call themselves coders these days, but we called ourselves software programmers.
Yes.
So I worked with the software programs which were running those landline switches from Ericsson.
Great.
And those were, at that time, it was groundbreaking technology.
Yes.
It was very enjoyable to work with those, and we were very excited actually. Personally, then, from that time, that has shaped my memories and my experiences in the
Of
Middle
course.
East.
Yes, of course.
Coming to later on to Dubai, it was a totally different chapter which we can discuss.
Yes,
a
we
bit
will move
later.
on when we speak about the Glotech exactly.
Yeah.
But right now, as we discuss in your journey, there is a lot of challenge you've been faced from the cultures, from the language, and much more. But what was the major challenge as a personally, especially in the beginning time?
I think, personally speaking, the major challenge was really to adjust in Saudi Arabia
Yes.
in the 1980s. I had a young family to raise and to educate. My two
Yes.
daughters, who are now in Europe, they are
Mashallah.
doctors
Yes, mashallah.
now, but their schooling was in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And as you can imagine, we did not have the support of the extended family which we have back home.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So we were all on our own, but I think the good thing that was that the company we worked for, Ericsson, they were very humane, and they helped us a lot with the initial
Yes.
teething problems that we had faced in the project and also in our personal lives. So a lot of support came from the company.
Yes.
The company was, the culture of the company was very fresh, very straightforward, transparent, and very humanistic approach. So from those times, I have liked that kind of culture, and I admire companies which implement that
Yes.
kind of culture. So the support from the company basically was the mainstay for us and helped us to continue with those tough projects. And in the meantime, we actually enjoyed working in our young lives, very motivated,
Of course.
working day, not only day, but also at night.
Yes, 24
so-
hours sometimes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and our
know.
families supported us.
Yes.
And the management in the Ericsson, which is a Swedish company, there were some great leaders there. And I still remember some of them very well with great fondness. So they helped us. On the other hand, I must tell you that during those years in Saudi Arabia, 80s and 90s, not only did we see the modernization of the network outward,
Yes.
but also how the society changed, the impact of modernization on the society. We witnessed those years, 20 years that I stayed in
Yes.
Saudi Arabia, and it was a tremendous experience how the society adapted to modern challenges and so on. And I'm sure at one point we will write books about that to share
Of
our
course,
experiences
yes.
further.
You had to actually, yes.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Saeed, before we go to Glotech, we wanted to know what is the additional experience you've been getting when you come to the Middle East markets.
Yeah, I would say 2-3 points in this. On the technological side, once I reached a level in the company where I was given senior management roles, from the year 2000, Ericsson was one of the first companies to introduce telecom outsourcing. So what that means, we called it managed services at the time. What that means is that, the large telecom operators, for example, Etisalat, Du, STC, Mobile, we started talking to them and introduced the service that you give us the day-to-day operations
Yes.
to a company like Ericsson. We run it for you at a lower cost, at a better service quality. Give us a 3 to 5 year contracts. And so in those managed services contracts, which were governed by service level agreements,
Yes.
by key performance indicators, so we were measured by those parameters. So we introduced managed services in the Middle East, and that experience was outstanding for me. So I was fortunate enough in the company to be pioneering the introduction of managed services in the Middle East. So we worked with many operators, first in Saudi and then in many other countries back in 2000. And at one point, I was personally responsible for managing 15 such contracts, managed services contracts. So I was flying all the time from Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the Gulf countries, Pakistan, Iran, and so on. So we were delivering the managed services contract. And those were wonderful times, both for Ericsson as the company, as well as for our friends in the operator business.
Ericsson is a huge name, of course, yes. There is a lot of tasks you had to do it in between.
Exactly.
So if we will go now to Glotech, back to the origins of it. So how was the foundation for the company and what was the vision behind its establishment?
So to come to Glotech, I have to mention my last few years working in Ericsson were related to something we call customer experience management.
Yes.
So as a mobile subscriber, it is very important for me, the download speed, the video quality, and the service of the quality of the network as I move around in the car, in the stadiums, in the shopping malls, and so on. So in the year 2005 to 2010, customer experience management became very important for telecom operators and in the business. So in Ericsson, we started introducing customer experience management to telecom operators. And I was again fortunate enough to get involved in the customer experience management. How to measure technically what's important for the mobile end user.
Yes.
How does he rate the performance of the network? What are the technical details we have to measure and improve upon in order to keep a happy customer end user for the operator?
Okay.
So once we learned about that, And once I started to get closer to my senior years, and I started thinking about business. And I was again fortunate enough to meet my colleague, Mr. Wasim, who is the current CEO of Glotech.
Yes.
And we started discussing the possibilities about establishing a private company. Mr. Wasim is also a very experienced technical engineer in the area of planning and design of mobile networks.
Great.
So he has worked many, many years in that area.
So you completed each other.
We came together and we
Okay.
thought that let us try our hand in working for ourselves and using and leveraging our experiences that we have spent many, many years in telecom companies with the operators. And of course, during the many years that we have worked here, we've developed personal relationships with many of the decision makers and the CTOs and the operators in the
Yes.
whole region. So we thought that it would be a good idea to start a company of our own. I must mention that I myself am not a very financially experienced person, working on the technology more, but my partner, he has a very good sense of setting up a company.
Yes.
And I did not know much about cash flow, about capital
Yes.
investments, about payment terms, and about penalties and so on.
Yes.
So I learned a lot in my 8 years with Glotech about these things. In Glotech, we are working with the same kind of things that we have worked before in Ericsson,
Yes.
which means customer experience management, how to measure the service quality of a modern mobile network.
Yes.
What are the important aspects and so on, and how do we measure it? So we set up the company basically to provide services on how to measure the key parameters in a modern mobile network.
Yes.
So we are providing services in that area to telecom operators like Du and Etisalat.
Great.
And
So, as we mentioned about the service, Glotech is already have a very wide service in the sections of telecom. So, could you please overview all the service and the product you've been provided to the clients?
As you know, we are just headquartered in Dubai,
Yes.
in the UAE, but we have projects running not only in the UAE for telecom operators, but we have a big project running currently in the Philippines
Yes.
and in Turkey.
Yes.
So we are managing from Dubai those many contracts. And previously, we have also completed projects in Malaysia and in Pakistan. So what we deal with is how to measure the service quality, as I said.
Yes.
So we are working with the tools and modern apps and artificial intelligence
Yes.
tools, which is a must in these times now. And we are trying to introduce, we have some partnerships with other global partner companies who are developing apps and in the area of artificial intelligence in order to better measure the end user experience. And that is necessary not only for the end user, but also to reduce our costs, our requirement for the human resources in order to do our business. We want to reduce our costs and do profitable business here. So these are the kind of areas we are introducing currently in Glotech, in drive testing in order to use modern apps, artificial intelligence, software tools, and so on, in order to give a better service to our customers and to find out much more and deep investigation into how we can deliver a better service for the end user of the operators. So that is in summary, our business.
Great. As I see, you've been deal with a lot of markets from Malaysia, from Philippines, Turkey, and much more. So how you maintain to have the great quality and also the best recorded of customer satisfactions in a bit of different markets, different knowledge, and different cultures for each market as well?
As I said, it really comes down to having a good business sense, having
Yes.
contacts at the right places in the
Yes.
telecom
Yes,
operators.
of course.
One thing I must mention you, the importance of personal contacts in the Middle East is a fundamental.
Yes.
You may be, of course, me being technologically a very competent person is a basic necessity to know about the technology and the competence. However, that alone is not enough.
Yes.
You have to have personal integrity, honesty in
Exactly.
doing work
Yes.
with the telecom operators in the Middle East. And then once you show to your customers how transparent and how honest and
Yes.
how good integrity you have, then the business develops.
Of course, because you built the trust between you and the clients.
The trust. The
Yeah.
trust is so important.
Exactly.
In order to build personal trust,
Yes.
you have to show integrity and
Of
hard
course.
work and being transparent with the customers, the C levels, the CTOs. Once you do that,
Yes.
you'll be surprised that many of the other bureaucratic processes become much easier to handle
Exactly. Yes.
in the Middle East.
Exactly.
So that is one of the tools of success. Of course, working in the Philippines and in Turkey requires different approaches.
Yes.
So we try to mix and match our own personal experiences and our partnership here and build upon that. So far, we have had a good success, and we would like to leave a good lesson and legacy to the young people of how to do business
Yes.
in the Middle East. Hopefully, with our message to the younger people, they will have some useful information.
Of course, you will do so. In the last lectures, I will ask you to deliver this message, especially for the new generations. But right now, I wanted to know, Mr. Saeed, as you know that every success is defined by a key milestone. What is the achievements in Glotech you are most proud of?
I think in Glotech, our financial models,
Yes.
because competition is very tough.
Of course.
Uh,
Especially here in the UAE.
Exactly. In
Yes.
the UAE, our customers push us to the limits
Yes.
of cost-wise as well as hard work and round-the-clock service delivery and so on. The financial model we are following in Glotech is really to reduce our margins and not worry too much about hard and fixed profit margins. We go out of the way and working on a personal level with our customers, and we agree before signing the contract.
Yes.
We agree on what will keep both parties happy. The technology comes later on. The most important thing is that the customer must feel that they are getting value for money in signing the contracts with us and the service we deliver. The technology is secondary. The most important thing is the trust
Exactly.
and the value for money that we provide to our customers.
Yes, great, Mr. Saeed. So, as you know, technology nowadays it's been wrapped too much fast. So every day there is a new techniques from AI, from 3 dimensions. So, as a telecom company, how you been adopting to this technology, and for you especially as a software programmer from the organs. So, how you do with this new technology?
I am myself still involved.
Yes.
Even though my position is in the company is managing director, but I
Yes.
still love the technology.
Of course, it will be in your blood actually.
From the old times.
Yes.
So I cannot keep my hand away from the technology.
Yes.
So we are developing. We have within our company team, we have people. If you go out on the floor of the company, you will see technology out on the desks actually. So
Yes.
people working with their own hands and so on. Also, we are lucky to have a good partnership with some Turkish and some US companies which have developed very good apps and measurement techniques
Yes.
for our line of work. So we are trialing some of those apps and the new AI-based technologies here in the UAE and also in Philippines. We have some partnership from companies from Singapore and Australia in that. So the apps we are developing, they will help us in order to simulate the exact customer experience and in order to tell us what is it that is important for that customer who sees on the mobile the services that we are trying to deliver. So this is the area of the new technological development, the apps and the AI and so on. Of course, I cannot claim to be the expert in that. We depend on many young people in our company and in our partnership to tell us about that. And we only provide an enabling environment in the company and with our customers to show them the benefits of those apps and new technology.
So if I will take you back to the UAE, you know right now that it's been defined as a global business hub and it's one of the top countries in the investments and also in the business sectors. So how this country with its rules and regulations help you to grow your own business here?
It's a favorite topic of mine.
Yes.
I came to the UAE in 2005.
Yes.
So it's been about 20 years. I have seen an amazing transformation in the country here. If we talk about the business environment, the fact that two technical people like us were able to set up a successful company, that tells you a lot about the ease of doing business and the rules and regulations which promote and support and make easier setting up company businesses. Of course, it was not perfect from the first day.
Yes.
We learned a lot, we stumbled a lot, we picked up and then we developed again. But the support environment for doing business in the UAE is tremendous. Also, as I said earlier in the talk about the impact on the society in Saudi Arabia, here I have seen the same thing, the impact of amazing visionary leadership in UAE. I have seen with my own eyes, and people who have lived here longer than me, there are so tremendous stories. So the visionary leadership in the UAE have transformed the society, so that what we see today, people from all over the globe come in and want to do business here and live here, set up their own families and their businesses here. Why is that? Because of the society which is built on fairness, on tolerance, on multicultural society. So that's a tremendous experience. That is something I really love being here in the UAE.
So if we will go back to Glotech, what is your future inspiration and the long-term strategy you hope to achieve?
We wish to branch out into other areas.
Great.
Of course, that requires more capital investment.
Yes.
And we are struggling with that. Of course, the wish list is much more than what we can handle today. So in the areas of artificial intelligence and expand our business further to more customers, that is our aim, and to induct more young people. By the way, maybe I did not mention, we have currently a workforce of about 250 employees.
Yes.
Many in the Philippines, many here, many in Turkey, and working with many projects. So we intend to have the younger people getting more involved in the company running business and lead us the way of the new apps and artificial intelligence introduction.
So, Mr. Saeed, as a very successful businessman, how you define the success from your viewpoints?
I think very clearly, in my eyes, the success is the happiness of my customer.
Yes, of course.
I am not so concerned about the profit and bottom line. Of course, that is also very important, and Mr. Wasim always has a different viewpoint and so on. But the customer, when he says thank you, in the Middle East, when the customer C-level says thank you, that means a lot to us.
Yes.
So we wish to continue in the same culture as what we have learned in our younger days, to implement that in Glotech, international company here,
Yes.
and to hand on our lessons and our legacy to the future leaders who might be listening here.
Yes.
And I must repeat my earlier message. Technological competence, be sure you have that. But integrity and honesty of doing business, that is number one. That will make you successful in the Middle East.
Thank you too much for this. Is a great definitions actually. And last but never least, we would like to ask you to deliver an advice for the new generations who are freshly graduated to put them in the right way. What would you like to say?
So my advice to all the young people who may be listening is working in the Middle East. Of course, you require some kind of technological expertise that you are good at, that you are an expert technically. But do not forget the importance of honesty and transparency towards your customers and the personal integrity of your own self and the business you are doing. That is paramount to me. That will help you a lot in being successful in the Middle East. So that is the company culture that I try to promote in this company, which we have learned over the 40 years of learning from other multinational companies and the good advice that we have been receiving. That is my advice to you. Work hard, be technologically great, but always be honest, transparent, and a person with high integrity.
Yes,
Thank
great.
you.
So we concluded our episode for today, Mr. Saeed, by a word from heart to heart to all the Highness and the UAE leaders, to thank them for their effort to keep our lives safe and success. What would you like to tell them?
I would wish to thank the leadership of the United Arab Emirates. I have seen tremendous things happening here, and these are wonderful times to be in. And the society and the country they have managed to create is a great example of not only in the Middle East but all over the world. So I'm thankful, and I've seen it firsthand. I have lived a wonderful many years here, and I'm thankful to the leadership, to the great visionary leadership of the UAE. Keep doing what you are doing, and many businesses will succeed because of your great policies and amazing vision for the future. Thank you.
And we also thank you too much, Mr. Saeed, for this is a great interview and for your great hospitality as well for our team. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, our dear audience, for keep watching. Please wait for us in the next episode by next week from Palace of Union. This is Horea Gindi. Goodbye.